actually became a mother at 16. And so with doing that, things kind of get hard and responsibility takes place. And so I always explored with doing hair. I always, knew that was something that I wanted to do. And so when I became a mother and I had to be more responsible, it just was convenient to do it. So, I didn't do it with a license, of course, because I was not, at the age, but I did it on family and friends and things like that. And so once I got old enough to, drive and commute, then I went to cosmetology school. And so that is when the career actually started to take off. And so when I realized, okay, I can really make a living out of this, I really, really pursued, started to position myself to have a brick and mortar salon. And then I had my first salon on High Street. And so when the pandemic happened, of course, we were forced to, do some life changing. And I wound up closing and then working with a friend. And then, so I realized that my clients were following me at the new location. And it was more of an inconvenience for them than it was for me. So I figured I'd come back to Chestertown and locally and actually set up, where I am now and work. And so in between before the pandemic and now, I decided, you know what, I like doing hair, but I really like teaching it the most. And so that's what is bringing me to my current state. I took my license to become an instructor, which Maryland calls it senior cosmetologist. So I'm a licensed senior cosmetologist in Maryland. So around 20, I opened my first establishment in 2018, 20 later part of 2017, 2018. I would have people or students inquire about doing an internship. Now, there is a difference between an internship and apprenticeship. Internship is just where you come in. They're one and the same, but Maryland deems internship where you come in and you basically shadow. Apprenticeship is where you come in and you actually work towards getting your hours. So I had a lot of students that would come in and do an internship. But they would just come in and just learn, and then that would be the end. A lot of those students would literally leave the industry right there. With that being said, I started doing research to see, hey, how could they actually come in and work in the salon to be able to establish a clientele and accrue time to work towards getting their cosmetology license. And with doing stuff, I knew it was there, but I was ignorant to how that process works. So I actually did my research, and I learned that as long as you have a registered license and a registered salon in Maryland and you are a licensed cosmetologist, then you can do an apprenticeship and somebody can work underneath of you. And so that is how I started to, research and get information. So with the interns that I had previously coming in, I was able to then offer them the apprenticeship program. Once they get in and see it's not just about doing hair and learning, you have to learn because I teach according to the Board of Cosmetology, their rules and guidelines to be able to get them to sit for boards. And once they realize, hey, I'm not just coming in and just doing hair, I have to learn safety and sanitation. I have to learn that, there are rules that I have to abide by. They realize it is not as easy as it seems. Of course, with any job, you have to follow the rules and the guidelines. But they're excited. They like it and they realize that the money comes in quick. And I think that keeps them driven. So what I decided upon doing the apprenticeship program, there were a lot of people that were inquisitive about the apprenticeship program or cosmetology. Or I would have clients that would come in and say, when I grow up, I want to do hair. And I would, ask them, what is it that you like about doing hair? And that is where I would have them thinking, well, I only want to do this or I only want to do that. And so I had a lot of moms saying, I just wish there was something to give them an opportunity to see. I could bring them on and show them this is what you do, but it just isn't enough. I brought my daughter on in the summertime to show her, as a 13-year-old, like this is what you do. You shampoo and hair. And that's how I started, testing the waters, going in and assisting. And so I said, you know what, let me try it. Let me offer it to the younger kids to see if this is really what they want to do. Are they going to, because you see the outside, you see the, oh, I'm doing hair, but you don't see the backside. I have to stand all day long. I may not get a lunch when I'm supposed to. And so that's what I did. I actually created a workshop where the girls were able to come in. It was a 5-hour class. They came in and they stood, we did hair, we shampooed, we blow dried, until it was a time where I said, okay, listen, now we're going to have lunch. And so they got the experience to see, okay, do I really want to stand all day long? Do I really want to do hair? And is this the type of hair I want to do, or do I want to do makeup? So it gave them the experience, not a lot, because 5 hours isn't a lot of time to teach all that I would need to teach for them to, fully experience, but it was enough to expose them to cosmetology. And that was one of the things that hit home for me because, like I said, I became a mother at 16. And so you already closed the window for job opportunities. And I wasn't in a position, I didn't have family to say, we're going to take on the responsibility and let you continue to walk that path. My path was a little bit different. And so I found that a trade was the better way for me. And sometimes you have nursing and you have, auto mechanics and horticulture and all these things for some, but there are some that just want to do other things. And I was that one that said, I want to do hair, but I didn't have the transportation. And it took for me to, my path changed, and then I had to, life happened, and then I had to find a way. And so I think with offering a trade here or some type of opportunity to say, hey, I want to establish a trade. I set the grade or the age from 8 to 17. Which is a wide range, but you know your child, and whether they're artistic or they're creative, or if they're introverted or extroverted. And so I just believe that was at 8 years old, there's independency that's starting to happen. And you kind of start to imagine and say, I think this is what I want to do. Well, I had a mother that actually enrolled her daughter. She's 7. She was 7. So my youngest girl was 7, and she took charge. She knew what she wanted. She just was driven. She said, hey, I'm ready. She came in, she was focused, and she did exactly what she did, just what the 13, 14, and 15-year-olds. So at 7 years old, when they know what they want, they know what they want. And I did have some that were introverted and that were very bashful. And I said, hey, listen, in this industry, with cosmetology, you have to be able to effectively communicate. You have to be able to be a good listener. And so it taught them, hey, if I have a client sit before me and she's asking for this particular thing and I'm not listening to her, then I could mess up, or, injuries could happen. And so I was able to be able to direct them and show them, hey, you need to listen and you need to be on time. So it showed I was able to teach them a lot of life skills. And then one of the reasons why my salon is Confidence Beauty Lounge. Confidence was a name that stuck out to me because a lot of people, whether you are male or female, whether you're black or white, if we are lacking confidence, then we don't have the ability to stand up tall and know what we want. And so reiterated that to them. You have to be confident in your work. You have to be confident and know that this is what you want. Because when you don't, intimidation happens. And then, you have, as children, they're bold and they will speak their mind. And this is the age where you want to grab them and say, hey, listen, you can do anything that you put your mind to. And I believe that with the group of 8 that I had on Saturday, they were able to say, this is what I want. And when you know without a shadow of a doubt, like I said, when you have confidence and believe that it can be done, you do it whether it looks like it can be done or not. And so, and with everything that is good, you're going to have resistance. And so I'm okay with that. As long as I have a community that will back. And if they don't, at least I will be able to say, I tried.